You're listening to the Therapy Sessions podcast for all your Chicago Bears therapy needs.
Welcome back. Here we are for episode 7 of Therapy Sessions, and we are in front of you now on video for our inaugural YouTube episode. That's right. We are now going to be streaming on YouTube in addition to all of the other forms and mediums that you can find us on, in addition to Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all those great spots where you find your podcasts. So we are very excited about that. Chris, we're back to square one here. We're back to Therapy Sessions. It's time for Bears Therapy. The original reason for this show. The 4-game winning streak is over. It's no more. The Bears fall to the Baltimore Ravens by a score of 30-16. Chris, what do you got for me?
This is Baltimore, Nick. The gods will not save you. I was watching that game and getting increasingly irritated. But then about midway through the third quarter, you know that Alonzo Mourning gif where he's like nodding on this, and then he starts nodding again.
Yeah.
See, this is now a visual medium.
Love that one.
I realized, I'm like, man, I'm in hell with this game, but this is going to be fire content for the podcast. And hopefully it will be. Nick, why don't you go ahead and start us off? How did you watch the game?
Yeah, so it was a pretty low-key Sunday, which was kind of nice. So just had some good family time at the house. Made some wings, made some pizza, some game day food, and we just kind of hung out on the couch and just Owen and I just watched the game from there. And it was honestly kind of similar, and maybe this is my fault, kind of similar to the way I watched the Bears' last loss, which was against the Lions. So maybe this is all my fault, Chris. How about you?
51-49, you to the Bears. Sunday was my son Frankie's 7th birthday. It's actually today, but Sunday we celebrated at my in-laws. So we got there right kind of sharp, right around noon, and then I had like a nightmare scenario where I opened the garage fridge and there was like 2 beers. And I did the math that I was going to be there for like 7 hours and multiple games. So I was like, hey guys, I got to go to the store. So I listened to the first 2 drives in the car and on my AirPods while I had to get Brittany coffee to be able to do this. So Starbucks drive-through and then a West Dundee liquor store. And so I heard
I've probably been to that one.
I
grew up in parts of
drive.
West Dundee.
So it was right on 31 next to the Lover's Lane.
I'm sure my dad made some stops.
He frequents both.
At that.
And the other thing that was kind of funny is my brother-in-law has this cat that named Garbage, like from The Office, Garby, and I'm extraordinarily allergic to this cat. So anytime if I walk in their house, it's only been this year since I got it, my face just explodes. My eyes get red. I wear sunglasses in the house. So the way it's been now is I have to sit outside while they're all inside. But it's like not that bad because I just watch football and smoke cigars and drink beers. But it is getting a little bit more difficult as it gets colder out. So imagine everybody inside and I'm like outside at the window. So I watched almost the entire game outside on my iPad and then kind of going inside while the game's on the TV when we're like singing and stuff. And I was getting really irritated, but then realizing that, we were probably going to have some pretty good content with the show. What I have been thinking about with that game, and then also in regards to wider goings on in football, is like one of the really cool things about football is that at all levels, they're really battles of institutions, okay? Even our level, right? Even first, second grade flag football, these are private institutions playing each other. And it becomes a contest of organization and resources of what you can put on the field. High school, college, all the way up to the pros. So you kind of look at like LSU, right? They fire Brian Kelly. Nick, what do you think about that?
Brian Kelly, man, seemed like the writing was on the wall. He's he's just been like a wet blanket in his last two stops,
No,
and
his entire life,
man,
Nick.
I guess his entire life. I guess he had it coming to him.
Nick and I are both Irish fans, and I dealt with Brian Kelly as like my college coach for my team for 15 years, and I never liked him. He's such an unlikable guy, and if you are in a position where you manage people professionally or deal with it, watching this guy operate is such a lesson of what not to do, is to just be such an asshole to your subordinates. And I spent the last 4 years feverishly rooting against him, and I took great joy in watching Texas A&M whoop his ass in
Yes.
Baton Rouge Saturday night. And the
Yep.
scene of that game, of watching that guy coach in his own funeral, brought me great joy. And I was taking such happiness in the Schadenfreude of it that I did worry that I was angering the football gods. But it was worth it for that guy's career to be buried. And if I had to give up and sacrifice this Bear game, I would. I would tell you, I was talking about before I got sidetracked with Brian Kelly, rest in piss. um, that my point being is that football games are battles of institutions, and what you have here is private institutions in the NFL with the Bears and the Ravens. The Ravens are a model NFL franchise, Nick. The owner's really good.
Aside
got two
from
coaches,
cheating on
two
the
GMs.
aside from cheating on the injury report, which we can get to,
Dude, it worked, man.
it did work,
Um,
which is why they should be punished.
so let's get into the quarterback grade, Nick.
Yep. Yeah. So quarterbacks, the high level takeaway is that Caleb did not outperform the Ravens' third string quarterback, not their backup, their third string. And
The man on their practice squad a week ago, Nick.
yep, wasn't even on their active roster. And so, that kind of tells you everything you need to know. So the grade is, D plus, maybe D.
What's this guy have to do to get an F?
Yeah. But here, let me just say this.
Okay.
It's interesting because to the naked eye, it sure looked like he regressed and took a step back, right? But if you heard Ben Johnson's press conference this morning, I don't know if you heard any of his comments.
Yes. Yeah. I was at
And
work.
he was
listening.
he was actually complimentary of Caleb. He said that when he went back and looked at the all 22 last night, he said it was better than he expected. Now, he wasn't raving about him. What he actually said was that he thought Caleb played better in this game than the two prior games. I don't know if I agree with that, because if you look at the QBR in the rating, in one of those games, I think it was the Commanders game, I think the QBR was significantly higher. So I can't quite agree with that, but the accuracy still not good. Still not good. And the biggest problem, I'll leave you with this and I'll let you jump in. The biggest problem I have are these intentional grounding penalties in addition to the pre-snap penalties. So I'll let you take it from there.
NFL teams will lie to you at every single opportunity. They're politicians mixed with corporations. That's what they are. They are a mix of publicly funded institutions and private institutions. Watch when you have to vote on the Bears stadiums. Although I don't know if we might have to. I know my parents will be, right? But they will never tell you the truth, right? The way you can
Yep.
actually see the truth of how an NFL team operates is by how they spend their money, okay, and what they do with their game plan. Caleb Williams has regressed this season, and you can see it in the game plan because for the first time all year, they treated Caleb Williams like a rookie quarterback, right? And I told you, we were texting during the game, watch the first drive again. So the first drive went really well. Why? Why did it go well?
It's scripted.
He scripted. And
Yeah.
when he scripted, when Ben Johnson was in control of all the plays, Caleb Williams was never at any point asked to drop back and read out a defense. They cut the field in half. They were running heavy play action. These are things you do with a rookie quarterback or backup quarterback. And
Yep.
that is where they see Caleb Williams. So that will always tell the truth, right? And they essentially didn't really ask Caleb Williams to drop back 5 steps and read out a defense from left to right, pure progression, until the fourth quarter in his own end zone. And what happened?
Interception.
The worst play of the year. That is a dagger concept, and that's shit they ran repeatedly at the beginning of the year to great effect. Baltimore was all over it, and I believe it was Nate Wiggins, who's second round pick,
Yep.
first round pick 2 years ago from Clemson, all over. He ran the route, Nick.
Right.
So that's not even particularly like a bad throw. That's a telegraphed route in a moment. They know what he's good at, what they want Ben Johnson's going to want to do. And they're so predictable. The route is run for you, and that is the end of that game. Caleb does put up stats in essentially garbage time at the end of the game, the just kind of prayer to DJ, things like that. It is not time to go into panic mode on it, but there are games with these quarterbacks. You and I are experts in watching rookie quarterbacks come into this team.
Unfortunately.
Like that. For every one of these quarterbacks, there have been games that really disturb me and really, 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 got my spidey senses going on it. For Rex, it was the Cardinals game, the epic. So everybody will remember the epic comeback, right? But people forget about his performance in that game. Do you remember it?
I was actually working during that game, but I do remember at halftime I got home at halftime from my college job, and all my buddies were back at our apartment, and we just went crazy that whole second half. But no, I just know Rex was not doing what he needed to do.
He had like 4 turnovers, 0 passer rating, and I'll tell you another thing. The player that Caleb reminds me right now in the pocket is Rex. They're the same size.
Oh, jeez.
And they both have big
Don't say
arms, but they're short. And no, it is because Rex had a huge arm. Do you remember? He would just F it, throw it downfield. He had a cannon. He wasn't mobile, but they were both short. They needed throwing windows. That Cardinals game, I was at Nights on Main in De Pere, Wisconsin, and I left the bar 3 times in disgust, and I got dragged back to it 3 times, right? And I believe it actually might have even been my birthday. But for Mitch, when I knew that this was going south, was the Packer game in 19, the first opening game of 2019. The Bears host the opening kickoff game. They put up 3 points, and the defense gives up 10, and they lose 10-3. And
Yes,
Mitch
it was terrible.
Atrocious in that game.
It was terrible.
And that he never recovered from that. And that's when I basically knew, I kind of knew on him in the Cardinals game, which was week 3 of 18. And I had my buddies telling me, no, he's going to be great. And for Fields, it's a random one, but it was, I believe, week 3 of 2022 against the Texans. Okay. So they beat the Niners in miracle fashion in the monsoon. Do you remember that?
Yep. I was in DC for that one.
I think you were in DC for that. I remember you telling me that. Week 2, they get their ass beat by the Packers, but it's a way better team. Week 3, they come back and they beat the Texans at home. So they're 2-1, but Fields, they win it on a Roquan pick 6 in the fourth quarter, but Fields goes 9 of 21 for 160 yards, and he's turning down all these wide open guys. And I'm like, this is a software problem. This guy doesn't have it. And he never ultimately got it. And, we can get into that later, but he had a really interesting week too, right?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
But for Caleb, man, this is the most disturbing performance I've seen this guy play. So now it's your number 1 overall pick, Heisman Trophy winning quarterback against Tyler Huntley, the pride of the Utah Utes, practice squad quarterback. And he outplays your guy, right?
Right.
That's not good. Caleb Williams in college. What do you remember from him in college, Nick?
He was a highlight machine. I mean, everything was outside of the hash and on the run, and just kind of playing street ball and playing kind of hero ball.
What's the first time you ever saw him play?
I think I did see him play at Oklahoma. I think I was probably watching when that when he came on the scene, when he took over for Spencer Ratliff and won the game.
Texas.
Right.
Caleb Williams takes over for Spencer Rattler, who the Bears played last week, is the #1 quarterback recruit in the country. He has a Netflix show about him, which I loved, called QB1, where he is unmasked as like one of the biggest dickhead athletes you've ever seen. So he's this natural villain, and I loved watching him, right? And he's struggling, and Caleb Williams is this unknown because he's the #1 recruit quarterback in the country after that, but it's COVID. Right? Caleb never plays his senior year of high school. So he goes away for 2 years. He debuts in the halftime of the Red River Shootout, right? And his team's down 30-0, and he brings them all the way back against Texas and wins. It's like one of the great college games you'll ever see. Caleb's first play in college football is a 50-yard touchdown run on 4th and 1.
Yeah.
Caleb takes the job from there. He's unbelievable. Caleb Williams against Kansas makes one of the best plays I've ever seen in my life a football player make. It's 4th and 2. Oklahoma's got to have it. It's like a give handoff to the right out of shotgun. His running back gets stuffed a yard short, and Caleb takes the ball from him and runs around and gets a first down. I've never seen that before or since.
That's insane.
His
That's
awareness
insane.
on field
Yeah.
is unbelievable. He dices everybody up, plays extremely well. Lincoln Riley leaves. He goes to USC. His junior year, 2022, is transcendent, right? The tape, if you ever get a chance with your tons of free time, Nick, watch just the cut up of Caleb Williams dissect Notre Dame like a frog in 2022. He's devastating, okay? I've only seen a handful of guys like it in my life, but he's like this quarterback essentially able to kill you on every play from any level of the field. He can run. He's throwing deep. He's mid-range, right? He's throwing short. His screens are incredible. And the way he was throwing on the move and manipulating defenses, I've never seen anything like it. Going into 2023, Caleb Williams is considered the best football prospect probably since Andrew Luck.
Yep.
They had Sean Payton on TV demanding the NFL put a lottery in because that teams were going to tank for Caleb and mess up like the sanctity of the season. This is how highly regarded of a prospect he is. He is, as far as super prospects goes for the NFL over the past 20 years, it's Caleb, it's Trevor Lawrence, it's Andrew Luck, probably Eli and Peyton. That's it.
Yeah.
Right? If you graded all those guys out together, Caleb probably goes even as a prospect like higher than Trevor Lawrence. Probably like somewhere between the Manning brothers. This is the level prospect going into 2023. On the same timeline now, the Bears have this pick from the Panthers, and it's clear the Panthers are awful. And when did you realize that we were going to get this guy? Like, when did you realize Caleb Williams is going to be a Bear?
Trying to remember. I want to say it was like approaching November or so, December, right around the holidays of that year. Because
this is going to happen.
This is going to happen because the Panthers were clearly bad. Bryce Young clearly was bad, and especially in his rookie year.
Yeah.
So,
in our life, Nick, the Bears have never had the #1 pick.
mm-hmm.
It's never happened.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears have never brought in a player of Caleb Williams' pedigree and his just pure stardom. Caleb Williams' brand was bigger than the entire Chicago Bears. I realized he was going to be a Bear October 1st, 2023, Bears Broncos. I'm at that game, and I'm there with a bunch of Danish expats I work with that have no concept of American football, okay? That's the Justin Fields versus Russell Wilson game that the Bears blow in the fourth quarter.
I was in Denver.
Both teams are 0-4.
I was in Denver watching that game with a bunch of Broncos fans. It was torture.
We lose that game, and it's at that point coming out of that game, the Bears had the #1 overall pick for themselves and the #2 overall pick from the Panthers. Like, there was a chance they were going to get 1 and 2, and that's when that whole Bear. Do you remember the Bears Twitter civil war between Caleb and Fields?
Oh yeah, of course.
Right. It was a thing. But by the end of the season, it wasn't. It was clear Justin Fields, after that Vikings game, was not going to be an NFL legitimate starter. The league told you that when you got a 6th-round pick for him. And lo and behold, Caleb Williams is a Chicago Bear. What this game, all of that goes to, what this game to me does is when you have the bell curve of outcomes for this player, the top 1/8 of that bell curve is gone, right? Him being a kick-ass dominant quarterback in his rookie contract, it's not going to happen, right? You are now looking at, can we develop this guy into being a good starter over his rookie contract, which is the next 3 years? He's the number 1 overall pick, Heisman Trophy winner. He's in his 23rd start. He needs to be better than that. Also, he has an entirely built offense around him, comprised entirely of first-round picks and highly paid offensive linemen. He's not pulling his weight. So, there's no time to go to Tyson Bagent or to jettison this guy, but he has not been the player that he's supposed to be. People misunderstand what Caleb was in college. Caleb was not this trick shot guy making crazy plays. Like, he did do that. Caleb was a freaking killer in college. He was hyper efficient. He killed you on every single play, right? His processing was elite. He was killing you medium, short, everything. I remember watching him, like, I rooted against him quite a bit in 22 because I didn't like how he left Oklahoma with the coach and took Jordan Addison. And to root against Caleb Williams, like, as an Irish fan in that game was, like, really defeating. That guy devastated a really good Notre Dame team. He was unstoppable. And that player is gone. And I don't know what happened to it, and I don't know how you get back to it. But saying all that, I give him a F+. He was the most pinpoint accurate guy you've ever seen on the move. I don't know where that player is. And when you're talking about, like, growth and whatever, number 1 overall pick, Heisman Trophy winner. This isn't what it's supposed to look like. What is his ceiling? Can he get there? I don't know. But we're 23 games in, and the higher end of his outcome, I don't think is available to him anymore.
We'll see. I don't know if I quite agree with that
Running
far,
backs.
but we'll see. Running backs. I mean, really just not much to write home about. I think wasn't even close to last week. I don't know, B-, C+. I'd probably say C+. I think Swift had a 4.1 average, and Monunga had like a 3.5. So, they didn't have the production, they didn't have the efficiency, so it wasn't great.
Swift is at 4.1. Monunga 3.4 in the passing game. So Swift ends up with about like 86 yards. Swift ends up actually being one of the higher graded guys for the PFF grades in that game. They were chasing the whole second half, which does short circuit your running game. Swift runs hard, right? He does. His vision isn't great. He runs into guys, but that dude brings his own guts. He runs hard. The best play the Bears had by far all day was the screen in the red zone, I believe in the fourth quarter. The Ravens blitzed the hell out of Caleb Williams.
Right.
And no one else has really done it, and they did not fear him whatsoever. They blitzed him. They short-circuited him under pressure, and they were not afraid of him downfield. And Ben Johnson, to his credit, I believe it was like 3rd and 6. You'll see it in the fourth quarter. It's 3rd and 6 in the red zone. The Bears
I know the
got
play.
a score.
Yeah.
And Ben Johnson correctly anticipates Kyle Hamilton coming. Swift dekes a block on him, drifts out, and they call a screen on it, right? And that ends up being the best play of the game, where it is really good coaching and anticipation by Johnson, but it also shows Swift's strength in his passing game. Really good receiver, pretty damn good blocker. It's just a vision thing. Like, they get in. I think I texted you, man, he really needed a score there, because I'm not interested in seeing these guys on the goal line, which was just brutal. But
They got it in. Here's one thing
I
I'll
would
say.
actually nominate him for a dog. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a standing dog at this point. One thing I'll say about that play is I heard a couple people say on social media that Caleb checked to that screen. Caleb noticed the blitz, checked to it, waited for the pressure to come in, and then dropped it to Swift. So,
So that would be
I don't know if
pretty impressive. I
Yeah.
haven't seen that. So that would be a kill. So we hear what they say kill,
right,
kill, kill.
right, exactly.
So essentially you go up with 2 plays called. So
Yep.
at that point it's like 3rd and 6. They're inside the red zone. So you probably have like stick, Y cross, maybe mesh rail, maybe even 4 verts going for the end zone. And they probably have a kill because the other thing that's possible is that the quarterback's helmet, right? All these guys have radios in the helmets, right? And
Right.
it turns off for 15 seconds. So it is possible too that he's getting radioed in, kill, 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 right? We're seeing it and they're killing to that screen. Whatever it was the best play of the game. It's actually one of the cooler plays they've run all season. It's a shame it comes in this performance. Monangai has clearly solidified that second back role. This is a 7th round pick. These guys aren't guaranteed to make the roster, and he actually has solidified his place on the team. Was Roshan active?
No, he was not. He was inactive.
So you're not. Oh, he was inactive.
I'm pretty sure he was inactive.
So that's right. He's back in the concussion protocol. Yeah, see, I think I told. Yeah, you will never. I don't think you'll see Roshan in uniform again for this.
Yeah,
team.
I think that's.
And
I think
it's
that's a
head
fair
thing.
bet. That's a fair bet.
That's a 4th round pick, right? You're not seeing Homer at all. So they only had 3 active backs.
Yeah, and they used DJ on some more of these handoffs in that game.
Oh man!
And those
what
are
do
just
what do you think about that?
no. They're not getting anything out of them, out of those plays. And I don't. It's just like what are we doing here?
Monangai had 29 snaps out of 63.
Yeah, he played a lot, and I think Swift was more.
DeAndre Swift had 31.
Yeah, Swift didn't.
That's an equal timeshare. That's new.
Well, I think that's because Swift was a little banged up. Remember, he was questionable most of the week, so
Oh, that's right.
he was limited in the game. That also hurt them.
Your baby boy Kyle, Nick, is slowly moving up in the world. Receivers.
Receivers, again, there just wasn't a ton. Rome had a great day. Rome was good. He had a drop. He had that drop. Obviously, it was a tough sideline play, but he otherwise had a great day. The first 3 drives, it was almost all Rome, and it looked like it was going to be. It looked like it was going to be a
Remember,
10
it's
catch.
all scripted, right?
It is, but he looked great. It looked like it was going to be a 10 catch, 180-yard day for him, but he still played well. So I don't know. I'll give him a B.
Those scripted plays are really important because they tell you what the team and the coach thinks of the players. So when they have control over where the ball's going, where is it going? It went to Rome. It went to Loveland, right? That's where Ben wants to put the ball with Rome. What's 114 yards? He's playing to his draft status right now. It's all right. The play with DJ in the back of the end zone. You want to describe it?
Yeah. So that was interesting. I sent you that clip, and that was at the very end of the game with, I believe, at that point, 30 seconds left. I mean, it was just garbage time, but they're trying to potentially get a touchdown so they can get an onside kick to potentially tie the game. So it's 4th down and 5, whatever, and Caleb snaps the ball. He drops back. It's like I'm not sure what route that. It's like a slant or it's like some sort of an in, and
In the red zone, DJ doesn't really run routes. He thinks he's Travis Kelce. He just tries to get open.
yeah, he just tried to get open. He didn't follow the route concept, and Roquan Smith was standing right in the middle, and he just was waiting. And then also they had a D lineman getting ready to swat the ball in that lane, and DJ sat right in that lane. And Caleb held the ball because he knew he didn't have a lane there. DJ was supposed to continue running, and Caleb expected him to continue running
into a window.
into a window. And then so Caleb went ahead and just had no choice but to flip it out there and lead him. But DJ just stopped and sat in his spot, short of his mark, and incomplete pass. So DJ just did his own thing.
What I would say about that play that really, really is tiresome is, you know how freaking tired I am of screenshots and clips and gifs on social media of who's to blame on this, the quarterback or the receiver, and how many quarterbacks we've gone through with this shit. Right? Like, I don't care. It's every one of these guys, because you know what's going to come next, Nick? The screenshot of just an open guy wide open, right? Like,
Right.
It happened with Fields every week. It happened with Trubisky, and now we're here again. And
Right.
it's tiresome. I was hoping for a bigger game from Loveland with him starting. Grading wise, Rome grades out by far the highest, 75, which is a good grade. Loveland graded out at 64, which is above average. DJ at 61 is very much average. Zacchaeus, not great, 55. Walker had 2 snaps, not a lot. Loveland played every snap of that game.
Oh, wow.
His run blocking score was really poor. His pass blocking was pretty good. And in the receiving game, he scores pretty well. But it's another week where it's just that it's hard to grade the receiving core because the offense is limited through the straw right now that is your struggling second-year quarterback. It's a C. It just is what it is. And it's one of my issues with drafting a tight end at 10 with a second-year quarterback is you need those tight ends to be in functional offenses. They're not usually causing an offensive function. They're like a symptom of like a good functioning offense. That is a cherry on top pick when you still needed bones to this team. You still needed building blocks. And that seems to be a luxury pick right now. And I know that you have to look at it in 5-year windows, but this is a team that is still in need of bones after 3 years, a lot of money spent, and a lot of draft picks. Offensive line.
Offensive line, I felt like Caleb was getting attacked a lot right up the middle in this game. He had, I think that led to a couple of those rushed passes, one if not both of those intentional groundings where he got immediate, A-gap pressure. So
those were 2 extremely irritating plays, Nick.
very, very irritating. Those are very aggravating. But, I didn't think the pass protection was great. Obviously, the run blocking wasn't phenomenal either. So I think it was a step back. I know this defense, it's not what this defense has been in the past, this Ravens team, but they came ready to play. They were obviously desperate to get a win. So I don't know. I'd give them a C, I guess.
They actually graded out pretty well. So when I talk about these grades to the listening audience, I'm using PFF, Pro Football Focus, which is a subscription website that evaluates and grades every team and every player and gives them a letter grade, number grade. So a score in the 90s is elite. For reference, there's been like 2 Bears I've scored in the 90s in the last 5 years, and it's Khalil Mack and Jalen Johnson a couple years ago. 80 is like a Pro Bowl guy, like a really good player. A 70 is a good above average starting player. 60s are average, maybe slightly above. 50s are replacement level, and anything below 50 you don't want to be at. The highest rated player for the Bears is Darnell Wright at 78. Second highest player, Dahlman, 77. Theo Benedict comes in at 73. Jackson at like 73. The highest graded players of the day were all the offensive linemen.
Okay.
Which is somewhat interesting, especially that Benedict grade. Like, I was very surprised to see that grade.
Yeah.
And actually, you can go further into it. he was scored a better pass blocking grade than run blocking. That's pretty interesting. Dahlman came in with a really high pass blocking grade. Same thing with Wright. You know, them scoring that grade, those guys posting those grades puts a brighter light on Caleb Williams. They're giving him the time to function and succeed. He's not reading the field clear enough, and he's not getting rid of the damn ball fast enough. They graded higher than they really even graded last week.
Yeah, that's interesting.
People bitch about PFF, right? And sometimes there's eye test stuff, but these are the scores, and every NFL team subscribes to this because they use it during free agency because they can put the players apples to apples. I was surprised to see that.
Yeah.
My grade wise, they lost C+. So before we switch from offense to defense, we'll do our paid ad. But Nick, what are you sipping on there?
Got a nice hometown daisy cutter from Half Acre.
Okay,
So shout out to those guys. Always tasty.
that's what my dad and I used to get at Soldier Field. It was like the only craft beer you could get in the mid aughts.
It's a good one.
I'm going with future sponsor Penrose Brewing, right down the street from me and Nick here in Geneva, Illinois, and Spooky Boots for Halloween. Penrose, you
Beautiful.
guys do good work.
Shout out Penrose.
Defensive line.
Defensive line. Montez Sweat, I believe, got another sack. So he's showing up.
Second highest score.
Yeah, so he's showing up consistently. I'm not sure about the other guys. I heard a stat which is going to lead me to a low grade for this
I
unit.
think I know what it is.
3 pressures.
Is it number 3?
Yeah, 3 pressures the entire game.
For the audience, Nick and I think, have similar algorithms.
We do.
On social media.
We do.
Yeah.
So
We will
I don't know.
frequently send stuff to each other at the same time.
So that pissed me off. That stat pissed me off. So I'm going to give him a D+ because of that stat.
He might have had all 3 pressures. So who do you think the highest rated Bear on defense was? Actually, for the entire game.
Well, I think you kind of tipped your hand, so it must have been Montez, huh?
It was Tremaine Edmonds.
Oh,
Who
okay.
is
Continues
really
to play
putting
well.
together a solid season. As far as the defensive line goes, the highest rated defensive lineman ends up being Dexter. I know he got hurt. Did he come back in?
I don't know. I don't
41
think he
snaps
did.
out of 61.
I don't think he did. I thought he was doubtful.
Okay. You've now lost Shamar Turner, which is a
Terrible.
shame.
Yeah.
I know he was not playing particularly well. He was not grading out. I believe he put a grade in the 20s last week, but he is a second-round pick, and he is like a violent player that does bring an edge that you do kind of need. So that is a bummer. Montez, Dexter are the 2 highest graded guys. Jarrett comes in at 60, which is a replacement level for a guy you're paying $14 million to. I'm not going to do it. Deo, I don't know if has scored a grade in the greens this year. He's at 59. That's a lot of money for a pick setter.
Yep.
Nick Billings came in at a 37 with 40 snaps. So he graded extremely poorly.
yeah. Surprising.
What I would tell you, a symptom of the 3 pressures is that their entire secondary is decimated by injury right now. So when that happens, you can't blitz, right? You can't blitz because when you have less experienced, accomplished guys back there, then you need more of them back there, right? So when you can't blitz, you must get pressure with your front 4. They didn't do it. They have a lot of money, resources, and draft picks into that defensive line. Montez Sweat, $30 million, and you gave up a second-round pick to get him. Grady Jarrett, $17 million. Okay. Dexter was the pick that you traded Roquan for. Did you know that?
That's right. Yep.
Deo, $17 million. All these guys are high picks, were traded for high picks, or making a lot of money, and they are not producing to justify that investment right now, and that hurts. Linebackers.
Linebackers, I think you just kind of summarized it well. Tremaine Edmonds obviously had a great game based on the score you just
He is
provided.
showing up on TV.
Yep. TJ Edwards, I mean, he's solid. He's rock solid. So I don't have much
Poor
to say.
grade.
Poor grade. Okay.
He was coming in as essentially a top four linebacker in the league. And when you think about it, there's two of them for each team. That's six out of 64 guys. He was like four, and he came into this game at a 50. This is a game you really need TJ Edwards to kick ass in the
Right.
running game against that offense. And I didn't see him that much. Edmonds continues to play well. Yeah, it's a C, whatever it is. Not too much going on there. Secondary, this is juicy, Nick. The secondary.
Yeah, secondary. I mean, you're playing with kind of a ragtag replacement bunch here, except for your safeties. And yeah, I mean, you got kind of eaten alive by a third string quarterback. I don't know, not much more than a
It's an
D
incomplete
plus.
grade. You can't grade it. You're down. You're down your top four corners. Jalen Johnson has a bizarre groin injury that we'll never know what it was. It remains to be seen. My prediction is I don't think you'll see him in a Bear uniform again. Kyler Gordon suffers his like ninth soft tissue injury in the last 3 years. I don't know if you'll see him again before December. What is Tyreek's deal? Is his shoulder?
Yeah, he's got a shoulder issue. Hopefully, he's back next week.
It's tough for a corner, right?
Really need him. Really
ask
need him
Carson
next
Wentz.
week against Jamar Chase.
That's 19 targets last week, Jamar Chase. So your starting corners are Nick McLeod, who I don't know what number he is. I could not pick him out of a lineup. Nashawn Wright, who is a practice squad player from Last Chance U. He's a JUCO junior college player. And then Jalen Jones, who's been on the Bears on and off for like the past 5 years. It's an incomplete grade. You have like guys off the street, and you need this defensive line that you paid all this money to take pressure off them. They didn't do it. Tyler Huntley is a practice squad quarterback, but he's throwing against practice squad defensive backs. When it comes to the safeties, the lowest graded player for the entire Bear roster was Jaquan Brisker. Nick, Jaquan Brisker posted a 27 PFF grade, and a
So
26 in coverage.
yeah, I saw him miss a couple
So
tackles, but I didn't really notice him
we
much.
we sent him a dog last week. We might have to get one back. We might have to have him send us one back.
Yeah, we might have to repossess. We might have to repo that dog.
Yeah, he played poorly, just from the grade. There was a play in the red zone near the end of that game. Bears are down 1 touchdown. They got to keep him out. And they run. Remember last week you talked about the sim pressure? They ran with Brisker twice in a row where he
Yep.
like violently roughed up. They ran that and Brisker didn't get home. And it wasn't
Okay.
particularly close and they got stung for a touchdown. But like that wouldn't affect his coverage grade, which comes in by far the lowest of the team. That's weird. I hope his brain isn't injured. And now I want to get to special teams because I have a lot to say about it. And we're going long, but I'm
Go
enjoying
ahead.
it.
You lead it off.
We have been debating these kickers for a while, correct?
Correct.
And you're a Cairo Santo boy.
No, I would not put it that way at all.
Yeah, he's
No,
now he's
no,
not.
don't you do that. Don't you put me in a corner like that.
Last week I said that Jake Moody should be kicking
I
this
did.
week, correct?
I gave you a very objective answer, not a fanboy take.
You're in the Cairo crew. He's
No,
in the
not at
Nick's
all.
in the Santo squad.
Not at all. I'm in favor of ripping the patch off of him. Remember, and the captain patch.
Yeah, but I want to be the one who actually does it.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll drive you to the stadium.
Nick, what happened at the end of the first half?
They did actually. It was really cool. They did the hurricane
Scramble
drill,
kick.
the hurricane scramble to get onto the field. So for our listeners, that's when you don't have any timeouts left. You can't dirt the ball because it's fourth down. So you have to, the ball is live, the clock is live. You have to rush your special teams unit onto the field with the clock ticking. The clock, I think, was about 10, and the guys ran out, the special teams unit,
Tick, 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 tick.
tick, tick. They snapped it at about 2 or 1 seconds. They actually did the operation perfectly. Clean operation, clean hold, clean kick.
The only operation they ran, even on offense, all freaking day.
That was the best operation all day. Um,
What happened to the kick?
the kick, the kick fell woefully short. It was right on line, but it fell very short, and it was very sad.
Nick, how many NFL kicks this year in the entire league have you seen fall short?
I don't think I've seen one fall short since Madden when I've
I can't.
attempted a 68 yarder.
The way these kickers are just ripping creatine and like training, right? Like essentially every team in the league now has like kickers with 60-yard ranges, and we're stuck at like 49. And that is, they don't have a good enough roster to forfeit that range.
I want to give you.
He's a liability.
He is. I want to give you a very sad stat. Okay, this will make you sad, and this is going to require
Let me
therapy.
drink some of this beer before I hear it.
We might have to do an entire episode of therapy just to give our fans, our thousands of fans out there, some support. Because
You know, Nick, I don't know if you know this, but the fan base started calling himself the Patience.
the patients, we have a lot of patients out there that need our help. We're going to start doing patients. We do house calls, so please give us a ring. But here's the stat, and it's really, really sad. You ready?
Yeah. Yeah, give it to me.
Oh my gosh. No, it's even worse. No, it's even worse than I thought.
It's gonna really,
It's really bad.
Really irritate me.
It's really bad. Are you ready? It's really, really sad.
Yeah.
This might be the saddest Bear stat of all time. Since 1948, Chris, the Bears have had 2 field goals over 55 yards. Since 1948, they've only had 2 over 55 yards.
If you regularly watch the league, it's every single game this is happening. So
Isn't this insane? And I can tell you, they have who they is.
I don't know if the listeners know this, but I do have George McCaskey's cell phone. I'm going to text him that stat.
Text him right now. He probably just finished umpiring a game.
George. He's umping a girl's flag.
So here's the games. Okay, you tell me if you remember these games. Since 1948,
Okay.
only 2 field goals over 55. It's mind blowing. Both were from our old friend Robbie Gould. Okay.
Okay.
One was December 11th, 2011, at the Broncos.
Oh, that's the freaking Tebow game. That's where Marion Barber goes out of bounds. Yeah, I remember that game, Nick.
That's amazing.
And it's in Denver, so he has extra. Yeah, that
He has extra.
I'm
He
having
has
a
extra
hard time
juice.
sleeping, man.
Okay, hold on. Here's the other one. Hold on. Let's get to the other one. September 8th, 2013, against the Bengals, 58 yarder. It was the Trustman era.
Game.
You were at that game. Okay.
That was Brittany's birthday. That's my wife's birthday, and it was the first birthday of our like dating that we spent together. And I was like, "Hey, baby, we're going to the Bears game," right? And she was like, "Not into it." That was a season opener against a young Andy Dalton and AJ Green, and the Bears like kind of kicked their ass in the fourth quarter. But I don't remember that kick.
58 yarders.
That's interesting that it was that game because I was there for that. I like.
Isn't that
you
mind
need
blowing?
to Forcibly remove that patch from Cairo, and I would prefer to see Jake Moody for the rest of the year. Coaching.
This is probably one of his worst games, if not his worst game, for Ben Johnson. I think some of the red zone play calling it continues to lack creativity. I didn't really like what I saw on defense. We couldn't manufacture pressure, and they lost the game. So I don't know. D+.
What I would say with Johnson that was interesting is that when he really had the game in his hands. And by that, I mean the scripted sequences, they played really well and they worked, right? So his shit is working. It's what is disturbing about this is he does not appear to either trust his quarterback, right? Or think highly enough of him to operate like an NFL quarterback, like a big boy quarterback. There was a lot of Mickey Mouse stuff on that. And I'll give you specific examples. Is really on that first two drives, they're cutting the field in half on almost all the passing concepts. So that's on design boots, rollouts, or moving the pocket. That's all the Justin Fields stuff, man. And you don't want to see it because it means they don't think he can just straight read it out. But then also, I don't remember exactly when it was in the game. I think it might have been late in the first half, early in the third quarter. The game was still in doubt. There's like a 3rd and 5 at like the plus 40 or plus 35, and they run a wide receiver screen to DJ, who like makes a guy miss and picks it up.
Yeah.
It's a gotta have it 3rd and 5, and they run a wide receiver screen, right? What that tells you is he doesn't trust Caleb to get it, to read it out. And they did that shit all the time with Justin Fields. And
Yep.
my spidey senses started going up. Like, they do not trust this guy. The cycle of all Bear coaches and quarterbacks goes like this. There's dysfunction in the front office. The coach and the GM are not on the same contracts or the same page. So you have a quarterback gets drafted first, and then the head coach comes. So in year 1, the quarterback can't run the head coach's system. By year 2, it's not working, and it's the quarterback's fault. So he's replaced with the head coach's guy. Then when that guy doesn't work out, the head coach gets replaced. And that's the cycle we've been through for the last 15 years. Right now in that cycle, we're at quarterback is not executing the offense. I hope to God they figure it out, but we've been on this ride before. As far as DA goes, what are you gonna do? Half of the defense is gone. This is not a roster. They don't have the players, the bodies to actually win games on defense right now. They got really lucky with a lot of turnovers over some bad teams. Nick, look how healthy they are on offense. Who are they missing on offense right now? This is halfway through the season.
Yeah. No, they've been very healthy on that side of the ball.
They've been extremely healthy. The entire offense is intact, and they're not playing well enough. On the flip side, DA is doing a better job because that is a mass unit, guys on the street. Nick, when they're playing guys, I don't know who they are. That's bad. I know like most of these guys where they went to high school.
Yeah. That's
So it is what it is. I feel good about Ben Johnson, a lot better than Eberflus or whatever.
Yeah.
So this is a new setup for Nick and I with the video, and we got nice mics because I sounded terrible 2 weeks ago, but we're also doing it at night. Go Bears!
Go Bears.